at the sprites, I think it is. I think they do have 6 limbs. On the sprites, on the brutal sprites, it's like a shade, but no, yeah, I think there's 6. I don't know if that's the case in StarCraft Evolution. We'll try to zoom in. We'll try to zoom in. For the finals, I suppose. We'll try to zoom in for the finals. So here we go, spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Holy World. We have our blue Terran player. We have our blue Terran player himself. We have, for Team Starcom, the SC2 Terran, it is BratOK. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the pink Protoss player, with the pink Protoss representing among SC2 people. It is Prome, the brutal Protoss. Here we go. As well in the Holy World, and again, as we mentioned, this map has been vetoed so far every single series, so we haven't actually experienced Holy World until now. And Holy World is a really interesting map here. There are a lot of features. First things first, welcome to a 4-player spawn map. Again, 4-player spawn maps are quite common, very common in Brood War or in StarCraft Evolution. You can spawn in top left, top right, and bottom left as well. But do you notice something interesting about our bases? Low ground main. I'll be honest, I can't remember the last time we had a low ground main base in StarCraft 2. Have we ever had one? Maybe for those that were active like in Wings of Liberty, was there ever a map that had a low ground main? I don't think so, right? but yeah, that's like a crazy quirk about Holy World. Low ground main base, you have to go up the ramp into your natural. What this means is, if we're going for an all-in for now, 3x by the way, 3x sim timing here out of BratOK. Very aggressive opener here. I believe CC first. Yeah, CC first into 3x. We saw this during the previous series, during the quarterfinals out of BratOK. But because of this, if we're going for an all-in, and if the natural is broken, yo, you're contained, and you have to push up a ramp to break out of your main. like it is brutal here. Like, all this high ground can abuse a defending player if they lose control of the high ground of their own main base. Likewise, drop play as well. Imagine like tank drop here behind the, or on top of the cliff face, drops alongside liberators as well. Like, there's a lot of way to abuse this terrain, so the main base is not as secure as it is on other maps. For now though, we're going for the sim timing. Low grounds mains might have been a StarCraft 1 thing early. That's what I mean. Like, I'm trying to like reach into like my memory, and I can't remember if we've ever had a low ground main in StarCraft 2. I don't think that's ever happened. Like, and if it did, it must have been in Wings of Liberty, right? It's like, it must have, if it ever existed. But it's crazy. Here we go. From here, we are settling in. Again, we're going for our early stim timing. Add-ons are on the way. Reactor, Tech Labs as well, working towards stim, working towards a heavy push. Meanwhile, Prome, did he scout across the map? Not quite. He's not fully aware what's going on. The Dragoon has arrived. BratOK sneaking up on the Dragoon, though. Getting a couple shots off. Does zone away. Dragoon range is in production. Going for extra gateways, going for a forge. Interesting, going for a gateway heavy style here. I'm really used to seeing Protoss players open up Robo, working towards Reaver drops, or opening up Citadel, going into Zealot Legs, and going into Storm. But this is different. Prome, he's got some builds going into +1 armor and rallying out Dragoons. So it looks like he's going for a much more Dragoon heavy composition. There we go. Now we have the Citadel. It's going to be a later Citadel, but a faster upgrade. Interesting. Again, typically we see players prioritize Zealot Legs. Here, we're not. So delayed Zealot Legs, going to faster upgrades. This is a bit of a greedier variation. And Marine goes down. Bunker taking a lot of hits. We have to pull the boys. We have to repair. Bunker's getting low. Up. Oh my god, getting very low here. We'll barely hold on, barely survive. We have to wait for the Marauders. Marauders not coming in. Oh, as the Dragoons, they bleed back the Marines. There we go. Marauders have arrived, and now we hold. Yeah, now BratOK does hold on. Again, Marauders have extra range in the bunker. And Prome is forced back. From here, as we mentioned, we're working towards that Stim timing. Stim, combat shields +1. BratOK has survived the early game aggression of his opponent, getting to a 5 Raxes on 2 bases. This looks more and more like a 2-base all-in. 2-base all-in here from BratOK. Meanwhile, across map, prome, he will expand, get a 3rd base. I was focusing a lot here on the low ground expansion, but we do have a high ground natural into a pocket 3rd. So you have a pocket base here behind your main. You have to knock down these rocks to get easier access to the expansion. And we have a pseudo pocket base here on the right-hand side. It is a pocket expansion, but it is exposed. As you can see here, it's exposed here to the rest of the map, so it can be harassed. Can be abused. On top of that, something that you haven't seen yet, but is here in the center. One, we have a neutral CC. So in a Zerg matchup environment, you can actually weaken the CC and infest it and morph in some infested Terrans. So that is available here to you for Zerg players. It's also one of those things where neutral buildings are something that's was played around with a little bit in StarCraft 2. If you remember, there used to be maps that we played around with neutral add-ons. So there used to be like neutral reactors and neutral tech labs out on the map, and Terran players could use them to proxy. We saw like attempted proxies there, but I think that's the only like neutral buildings we've ever had in StarCraft 2. But we also have neutral disruption webs. So webs here in the center. I'll speak. Speaking of the CC, prome is gonna knock it down. He doesn't like it, man. True Terran, get out of here. Does kill the CC. Does open up the center a little bit more. The boys have been pulled, as we mentioned, with 5 Raxes, 2-base all in. So 2-base all in, the boys are being pulled. It's all or nothing here for BratOK. Does commit. Does move out. Here we go. Yeah, it's all or nothing behind this. Storm is not ready, but done in 10 seconds. 10 more seconds. Storm will shut this down. He needs a little bit more time. He's a little bit more time. Ooh, does focus on the High Templar. There's 1 Templar left. Storm done now. And there's 1 Storm. There's 1 Storm ready. Oh, he needs more time. Needs more. Oh no, the High Templar goes down. 0 Storm. And without a Storm, there's no defense. The boys are being pulled. Probes are going down. Zealots, nice kiting here from BratOK. Kites down those Zealots. More boys are being pulled. It's going to be a Master Dragoon defense. As it will take down 25 workers. Stims in. Takes down the Dragoons one after the other. It's close. There's still a handful of Dragoons left. He's kiting. He's kiting back. He stims in. And we can see this army running out of steam. He's getting overstimmed, running out of Marauders. And Prome is holding. Prome is holding against the first wave. Meanwhile, we have more reinforcements coming in. Going for the Artosis Pylon. Oh, the Artosis Pylon goes down. Depowers everything. Yeah, depowers everything here in the main. Heads into the mineral line. Ay, ay, ay. Not like this, and there's 0 gateways powered, by the way. Yeah, 0 gateways powered. There is no production. There's 4 Dragoons remaining. Down to 4. Up, down to 3. Down to 2. 2 Dragoons left. And again, nothing is powered. Ay, ay, ay. And he has to push up the ramp. Does get there. Does push up. But BratOK, it looks like he has done it. He has done it. He has overwhelmed. And again, he hit just before Storm. Remember, there were 2 High Templar. But they needed a couple of seconds to gather energy. GG gets called, and BratOK, he will take game number 1. Whew, GG. GG, well played. BratOK does take a lead in the series. Again, a very intense game here. As we did point out, once we saw the 4th and 5th ranks, 2-base all in and pull the boys, and Prome just needed a little bit more time here to hold on. Remember, he had Storm, he had 2 High Templar, but they didn't have energy. He needed to buy some time. Shout out to BratOK, by the way, because he intentionally dove in and intentionally focus fired both High Templar, sniped them both before Storm was a factor. 1 Storm probably would have won the game there. Probably would have won the game for Prome. You saw how little Marines and how few Marauders there were remaining, and imagine if there was 1 Storm in the mix. I mean, there would have been that much less, and there would have been a defense. Very close, very clutch. In the end, GG, well played. BratOK takes the lead, and now we are getting into game number 2. Let's go. Whew. Let us go. See someone in the chat. Is this the modded game? This is StarCraft Evolution. StarCraft Evolution is a game mod that does feature Brood War versus SC2. Basically, this game is balanced specifically for Brood War versus SC2. It's not balanced for Brood War versus Brood War. It's not balanced for SC2 versus. I mean, SC2 versus SC2 is vanilla, is base game, I should say. And there's a very hardworking team working on this mod as well. Exclamation mark SC Evo in the chat, actually. Evo. We'll give you a link to the Patreon. Team Caprulu, they're the team. Oh, let's go. They're the team working on adding textures, adding maps and porting maps from Brood War, and also balancing the game as well. This is not directly Brood War. We did mention earlier, but there have been a lot of patches, a lot of balance patches to the game, adjusting Brood War, buffing, nerfing certain things, buffing certain things, changing certain things as well, to make this as balanced as possible. Again, it's a very dedicated team, and they do actually patch the game quite regularly as well. But here we go, Proxy 2 Gate. Welcome to Vermeer. Vermeer is a 4-player spawn map, and you can see here on the map, SC Evo. SC Evo. But it is a 4-player spawn map, and Prome, he is looking for his opponent, and he will find BratOK. Okay. He will find him as he does scout at bottom left. BratOK CC first. Oh no. CC first out of our Terran. Greedy build out of BratOK. Little does he know that we are going for an all-in. Let's go. No gas. No gas. It's going to be Mass Zealot here from Prome. And BratOK is going for the greediest opener you can go for. Late Raxes means late Marines. It means a late setup. Zealot production has begun. He's moving in. Soon be moving in. Go, shout out to the Urstodon. Island in the main. It is the same build here, 3x stim. So the same build 2 games in a row here out of BratOK, but Prome, he's here to punish. And remember, BratOK, he never scouted. He never scouted. No SCV scouts. He has no idea what's going on. And there we go. Proxies. Going for the proxy shield batteries. Shield batteries are on the way. Boys are being pulled. And can he get these shield batteries up and running? There we go. 3rd shield battery. Ay, ay, ay. Bunkers on the way. There's going to be 1 Marine to defend. Just the one. Oh, no, the surround. Prome gets surrounded. No more pylons. No more shield battery. But Zealots, they do waddle in. The shield batteries, they complete. They're done. And that might just be game. That might just be game then and there. The rush has arrived. Again, there's 1 Marine. A nice hold position. Very nice hold position micro. Hold position micro. But now we're up to 4 Zealots, and there should not be a defense here. Like, there's no shot. No, it's just purely vanilla Marines. No shot, Pappy, no shot. Some wasted DPS here at the ramp. Zealots, we gotta get involved. Yeah, a bit of a name move there from the Zealots. But there we go, does engage in the mineral line. Shield batteries in the range. SCVs are going down. And this is critical damage. BratOK down to 5 SCVs, down to 4, down to 3. 2-0. GG gets called, and Prome ties up the series 1-1. We are going to the ace match. GG. Sorry, going to game 3. Going to game 3. I'm so used to this being a best of 3, but no, it's best of 5, of course. Best of 5. We're going to game 3 here. And again, BratOK, he went for the greediest build you can go for, and he did not go for an SCV scout. So BratOK, he had no idea what was coming. He had no idea what was happening. Alas, the shield battery, the proxy shield batteries were the nail in the coffin. They did finish, and the Zealots were immortal. They did not die. They did not go down. GG. It's a very cheeky build here by Prome, and now we're getting into our 3rd game to determine who takes the lead in the series, as we're tied up 1-1. Alright, tied up and spawning in the top left hand corner of Pylon, we have the Brood War Terran player. We have the blue Terran being forced into a tied series. We'll see if he can bring it back. It is BratOK. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have the pink Protoss player. We have the SC2 Protoss representing among SC2 people. Tying up the series 1-1, it is Prome. And BratOK now he's able to embrace and do what he does best, and that is without the Brood War Terran. Let's go. Now BratOK, what is he known for? He's known for mech. He's known for mech. He's known for his mass vulture or his double factory opener. We'll see if that is the case here. We shall see. But now it does open up with the initial racks expand. Sets up on the low ground. Now, there are 2 builds that are quite prevalent here in the meta in TvP. One of them is going double factory into mass vulture, rushing to ion thrusters and rushing into spider mines. But another style is to go into a 3x stim timing, which is still very meta. It got nerfed heavily. I want to say there were like 3 different like patches that nerfed it. Despite that, it's still very much so meta. is still very prevalent amongst the pro players. So we'll see if BratOK does go for that as well. As the SUV does move in. We'll discuss the 3x stim timing if that's the build we go for. We can then discuss it. Okay, factory. Never mind. So reaction to factory into a delayed CC out of BratOK. This does look like a prioritization of mech. So he's not going for the stim timing. But now, ooh, 2-gate opener out of prome. Okay, interesting. So very aggressive opener here out of our Protoss player. Delayed expansion, 2-gate opener. Bearing in mind, welcome to Pylon, small map, short rush distance by ground. Aggression is favored here on Pylon. And we're going for a one base all in. Oh my god. Yeah, going for the robo, going for the one base play. Now with this robo, we can go into early immortal, or we can go for a prism to warp in across the map and to juggle over the wall and to micro back the units as well. Meanwhile, we have the machine shop on the way. Yep, second factory as I mentioned, so it's going to be double factory, massive vulture. But can he defend? Can he survive against a one base all in with this? Will he need a tank instead? What do we go for? Vulture or tank? What's it going to be? Going into vultures. He hasn't seen the lack of expansion. He hasn't seen the one base all in. He doesn't know. He's not fully aware. Yeah, he's going into ion thrusters. That's not going to help. That's not going to help here in the defense. He's going into vulture speed. He needs spider mines. With defensive mines, he can make a defense. He can pull that off. Here we go. Another gateway. So it's going to be 3 gates, 1 robo prisms moving out, and BratOK, he is in danger. He's in a lot of danger here. Like again, like the speedy vulture's not going to help. There we go. Spider mines now on the way, but it was delayed. He got speed first before mines. And the spider mines are going to be crucial. Now the problem here is that spider mines can defend, but with a war prism, you can just dodge them. You can just dodge shots. Like with a prism, you can avoid the mine shots, and then you can just break through. And this might just be game. Like without a tank defense, I don't know if it's possible. I'll be honest, I don't know if BratOK can hold with this. He moves out. There's nothing. I mean, he can get into the mineral line, sure, true. He will get into the mineral line. He can start to one-shot workers. As he does somewhat get in. Does force a defensive warp in. Meanwhile, the army juggles into mayways. He can force field the ramp. Let's go. He can force field. And again, this is going to be a tough hold. We need the mines. We need mines at home. We need as many mines as possible. I think that's just game. Yeah, I think that's just game here. Does target down the vultures. Mines are being thrown down. Oh, they can connect. Voids are being pulled. And we have the one tank to hold on, but there's no defense here. No shots. Oh my god. Forcing friendly fire. Catching out 7 SCVs. And the tank is going to be targeted. Oh, nice repair. Okay. Does repair. But I think he's holding on. That one tank is the backbone of the army. And now we're up to 2 tanks. Yo, with 2 tanks, he can hold. He's holding. He's holding. He shuts down the stalkers. The power of the tanks. Oh my god. Still very close. Stutter steps across, takes down the final stalker. There's nothing left. Oh, there's nothing left again. The MVP tanks, baby. Let's go. I thought they were too late. But no, they came out in time, and I believe siege mode is done. And BratOK defends. He does defend. From here, he can just siege up. Defend is natural. Oh, we'll lose the tank. Wait, no, it does pull away. Saves the tank, thankfully. Does force back the army. Oh, is he counterattacking? So, from in my mind, remember, BratOK, he's up in workers. We can just expand. We can just chill back at home and expand and get into a longer game. BratOK, he is counterattacking instead. This is risky. There's going to be an immortal. There's going to be an immortal back at home. Spider mines are thrown down. Ooh, does connect. We get some connections here. But this feels risky pushing into an immortal like this. Tank starts sieging. Tank is going to be going up. Oh, he's trying to. Nice control by prome. Saves the immortal, going for the tank. And he will focus it down. Yeah, there's no saving this tank. The tank does fall. Vultures, they bust into the main, though. Yeah, they bust into the mineral line. Promes are going down. Ooh, Spider-Man shot goes off. And he's done it. He's done it. It's enough. Ooh, he's done enough damage. Another Spider-Man. Another Spider-Man connects. And another as well. Takes out the Stalker. And with that 17 probe kills, BratOK, he does excel. He does do enough damage. GG gets called. Whew. And BratOK, he survives the all-in. He takes a lead in the series. GG. Oh my god. GG, well played again. I was very concerned by the all-in. We saw that the Vultures were struggling to defend, rushing into Ion Thrusters, rushing into Spider-Mines. Was not ideal, but the tank did come out just in time, pull the boys to defend, and with the help of that tank, he helped. We saw that BratOK was able to hold, able to defend. He saved the main base, and even pulled off the counterattack as well. Lost all of his tanks in the counterattack, but got economic damage. He was able to get into the mineral line. GG, well played. BratOK does take a 2-1 lead and is one game away from making it to the grand finals. Let's go. Let us go. As we are loading into Sylphid. Here we go. As spawning in the top right hand corner of Sylphid, we have the we have the StarCraft 2 Terran play. We have the StarCraft 2 Terran representing Team StarCom, leading the series 2-1. It is BratOK. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the Pink Protoss representing among SC2 people. It is prome. The Brood War Protoss player. Now, fun fact, we didn't actually get to talk about the formats. For the regulars in the chat, you would know already. But just to reiterate, the format here is loser's pick, and I find that interesting because of the races that we have ahead of us here. Prome, he lost the last game, and Prome, he did choose to play Brood War Protoss, not SC2 Protoss. Again, it is loser's pick as to which player is able to pick which race. So Prome, he does go back to Brood War Protoss, and we'll see if that's going to be enough to overcome and overwhelm BratOK. It could also be just to avoid BratOK's Brood War Terran as well. Like, playing against mech can be quite difficult, and BratOK is very fond of that, at least whenever he plays Brood War. For now, CC first. CC first out of BratOK. So CC first into his own racks. Meanwhile, once again, 2-gate opener out of Prome. This is very similar to what we saw previously in the last game. Oh, and this is going to be the 3x Tim. If you remember, we saw this on Holy World. We saw this attempted on Vermeer, if you recall, as well. So BratOK going up to 3 racks, working towards Stim. And this can turn into an all-in, doesn't have to be. But we saw on Holy World, he threw down 2 more, went up to a 5-rack setup. Pull the boys, just went for a 2-base all-in. That's what it led into on Holy World, at least. Here, 2-gate opener going into early Zealot. Classic is very fond of this. Classic is very fond of this build as well. So 2-gate Zealot. Rushes across the map. Yo, we're setting up the proxy shield batteries. Let's go. Yeah, rallying out Dragoons. Hyper aggression here out of Prome. And BratOK, can he hold? Can he survive? Can he get a bunker? There we go. Bunker's on the way. He needs this bunker desperately. Zealots are rallying in. Dragoons as well. If he can get the bunker up, he can hold. If not, then it can be just game here and now. There we go. SCV goes down. Bunker's under fire. Here come the shield batteries. Boys are being pulled. And the bunker is going to be denied. It's close. Oh my god. Yeah, it's so close to falling. He needs the bunker, Pappy. He needs it. Going for the Autosis Pylon. Pylon's under fire. Throws down the eBay. Trying to wall up. The shield batteries are going to finish. Yeah, they're going to complete. They're going to finish up. The bunker under fire as well, taking a lot of damage. Can he repair in time? No! He barely can. Oh my god. The repairs are in time. Marines are being targeted. He does load up the bunker. Yeah, the bunker gets loaded. With that, the shield batteries are going ham here on those Zealots. Oh my god. But they're running out of energy. Bunkers are holding. Dragoon's getting behind the middle line, going for the SCVs. Boys, they pull away. Getting the refund. And Dragoons against Marine, I mean, Dragoons have the advantage. They do not have range though. No range, but that's going to be 4 Dragoons. Yeah, they focus on the Bio, focus on the Marines. From here, they focus on the SCVs, and then they can just focus on the bunker. And where are the repairs? BratOK trying to hold on, but I believe prome should have enough. Yeah, he should have enough. Again, BratOK didn't take the first pylon seriously enough. He will bring it down eventually. He will focus on that pylon. But we have so many more shield batteries. More shield batteries are amassing. Remember, there's no factory here, so, and there's no add-ons, so it's only Marine. It's just pure Marine. Only Marine pack. Which is where Dragoons can excel. Again, there's 3 more shield batteries. Jesus. Does get 1 Dragoon. Kills 1. 1 Dragoon goes down. Oh god, the Marines, they get bullied. You see he's focusing on the weakened shield batteries, which is less than ideal. Again, Dragoons are working their way through. We built up to how many? Up to 7 Dragoons. Okay, 1 Dragoon goes down. Gets 1. The Marauder has arrived. Yeah, Tech Lab did complete. The Marauder's going to be huge here. Marauder does load up. And is that going to be enough? The Marauder does add a lot of DPS. Shield Battery's out of energy. Let's go. Dragoons are going down. He gets 1. Gets 1 more Dragoon. That 1 Marauder is the MVP. Gets a second Dragoon. Yeah, he's holding. He's holding on. If it was pure Marine, I feel like prome could do this. But now that there's a Marauder, that changes everything. The power of the Marauder. And now up to 2. Up to a second Marauder. And the Dragoons, they cannot touch this. Yeah, they cannot push in. They're just getting bullied back. Marauders are crazy. Oh my god. They just chunk away at the HP here, the Dragoons. They just do so much damage. Prome, he was gaining ground. He was doing well for himself. But took a little bit too long. I was concerned by how late the tech lap was. But hey, BratOK, he got there. He got there. Remember, it's a 1-base all in. There's no expansion. There's no expansion. The longer this goes on, the better it is for BratOK. As he will break through all these shield batteries. Again, slow and steady here for BratOK. Things are looking dire. Then the Marauders arrived. And Dragoons are trying to poke in. We have more shield batteries behind us. Getting up to 5 shield batteries. I mean, that is a lot of burst damage. True. That's a lot of burst damage here on that on that bunker. Oh, takes out one of the Marauders as well. Nice target firing. BratOK getting a little bit too cavalier. Does overextend. Does overextend here. Bleeding out more SCVs. I mean, that is still 12 Dragoons. And the bunker goes down. Uh-oh. And the bunker goes down. Marauders are being targeted. Barely not enough repairs. And prome, he's still doing it. He's still pulling it off. Again, there's 0 Marauders left. Where are the Marauders? Now again, BratOK, he was just a little bit too careless with his movement there. He bled out so many Marauders in the lead up to that breakout. Likewise, didn't have enough SCVs to repair. It was a long all-in. Like, it was, it was a very long all-in. BratOK, he pulls the boys. It's all or nothing. No, the Marauder goes down instantly. Nice target firing there by prome. And GG. GG gets called. Prome, he will overwhelm. And we are going to the ace match. Whew. GG. Let's go. GG, well played again. Nice target firing there by prome. He did focus down every single Marauder as soon as he could, as soon as they got within range. And likewise, we didn't have any reinforcing SCVs to keep the repairs up on that bunker. As we saw, the Dragoon count was slowly getting up, slowly rising, of course. Did eventually burst down that bunker. GG. GG, well played. With that, we are going to the ace match. Let's go. Let us go. So we are getting into Blue Storm. And spawning in the bottom-hand corner of Blue Storm, we have the Blue Terran player. The Blue Terran representing Team StarCom, being forced into the A smash, but picking what he does best, picking the Brood War Terran. It is BratOK. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the StarCraft 2 Protoss player. We have the pink Protoss representing among SC2 people. It is prome. On the Ace match, 2 plays SC2 and SC1. As we mentioned before, the format for this tournament is loser's pick. So because BratOK lost the last game, he picks Brood War. Like, he gets the pick, so he does get first pick, and it is going to be Brood War Terran. And because it's always a Brood War versus SC2, that means a prome is forced into SC2 Protoss. So loser's pick. And from here, oh, double gas. Okay, double gas opener out of BratOK. BratOK is going for a faster factory. And welcome to Blue Storm. Welcome to Blue Storm. Blue Storm is one of the smaller maps, shorter rush distance by ground. We do have our natural base. Natural is a really interesting natural base. It's just because, similarly to Holy World, I suppose, low ground expansion, we have high ground right next to the natural. So we have this high ground area. On top of that, we do have a very narrow choke point coming into the natural as well, so you can easily wall this area off. You can also knock down this tower as well, so typically we don't really see much aggression coming from the right hand side. The rush distance by ground is very short, as you can see here. Doesn't take long at all here to go from one side to the other. But typically you can wall this area up and you can defend, and then the aggression really resides on the left hand side. Likewise, look at the third base, also right next to high ground. High ground is right next to the third base, so sieges and attacks can be quite difficult to defend at the third, which is why usually you're not fighting at the third base, you're fighting out here in the center of the map. You have to fight out here at the forward ramp instead. Otherwise, like, being defensive and falling back here can be brutal, just because of all the high ground and all the points of elevation. Meanwhile, as you mentioned, remember, double gas. Double gas opener means a faster factory. I assumed it was going to be a factory expand. This is double gas, double factory. Hyper aggressive build here out of prome, rushing into vultures, rushing into ion thrusters and spider mines. So he's going into mass vulture. Meanwhile, prome back at home, gate expands. So gate, cyber expand, standard opener here out of prome. Nothing crazy. Checking prome's vision, he sees nothing. He sees nothing here. And here we go, the vultures are amassing. Ion thrusters on the way, that is vulture speed. BratOK does go around the edge. So very late expansion here for BratOK, as he's going into spider mines as well. Which tournament lets the ace be Brood versus Brood War? That's Kung Fu Cup. Yeah, Kung Fu Cup. That's also, I mean, I appreciate it personally, but it can be a little bit confusing for those that are like watching. But yes, different tournaments have different formats. So StarCraft Evolution League is loser's pick. As Marine is targeted down. Marine is targeted. But here in Kung Fu Cup, it is player pick. Player pick. Does move out. So which is usually stronger, StarCraft 1 or StarCraft 2? I mean, I don't think it's... I think I said this also. I don't think it's correct to think of it in that way. They both have their strengths and weaknesses. The game is purposely balanced to make sure that it is as even as possible. I would say that typically, like, for example, Brood War Zerg is weaker than SC2 Zerg, but recently there have been a lot of patches to try to help alleviate that. And they just work differently. Ooh, meanwhile, Spider-Man's going to be going up. Nice defensive setup here. Shield battery is done. So far, full wall. Full wall here from prome. Does wall up, does wall off. But the races just work differently. They're just different races. There was a period in the meta where Brood War Terran was very strong. Brood War Terran was really strong, but they got nerfed. Like, Brood War Terran got nerfed, specifically sim timings. Sim timings were insanely strong in TvZ and TvP and TV. It was just in every match. In every matchup, you would know this if you were watching maybe like 2 months ago. 3x stim was like all around the meta, and it was just plaguing the meta as well. And that was addressed. That was addressed by, they reduced the HP of the medic, they increased the build time of stim, and they increased the attack priority of the medic as well. But like, again, like the game is like actively like patched to avoid that kind of thing. Meanwhile, BratOK, he backs off, he walls up, does take his expansion, and we'll see where the game takes us from here. Again, BratOK is going into now a more tank-heavy switch, setting up on 2 bases. Meanwhile, prome should have map control and can take a faster third. We'll see how prome will approach this. Again, from here, he should just be expanding, taking his 3rd base. Does go for a 2nd robo. Let's go. And this makes sense because he's up against mech. He's up against mech here, so 2nd robo's on the way. With this, we are getting into mass immortal production. How do you play against mech with SE2? Typically with charge and with immortals. So we're building up an immortal zealot heavy composition. Meanwhile, BratOK setting up back at home. He's being active with the vulture, setting up his minefield. The minefield is setting up. We have observers here to deal with that. Prome is moving out to clear out those mines. Trying to keep up with the vultures. Prome does expand. Again, Prome for the most part, like he's secure. He's free to expand, take a 3rd base, saturate. Vultures, they do skirt around the edge, though. They avoid the main army. And alas, the army's out of position. Prome not where he needs to be. Spider-Man's thrown down, going for the middle line, and probes are going to fall. Nice movement here from BratOK. Does get in. 5 probes going to be going down. Getting 5, 6, 7, getting up to 8. And not quite 9. But nice damage. 8 workers do fall. Again, as you can see, we do have this little alleyway behind the 3rd base, and he did barely slip past. Whew. Not bad. And I would say really necessary damage. Remember, Prome had the economic lead because he had the faster natural. It was a late expand from BratOK, so you have to do something across the map, and he does. Moving out with more vultures. Does move out. Prome, he's trying to keep up. Does spot the army. You can see he's aware. As he's distracted once again, BratOK going for another run by. Uh-oh. Does move out once again. This time there's a pylon to block. I'm loving the movement here with the mines. Oh no! Oh my god. Does focus him down. Yeah, barely does. Whew. Deals with the mines. And vultures, they once again head into the middle line. This time though, there is a immortal in position. There is an immortal. Boys are being pulled. Once again, 6 more probes going to be going down. 7 more probes. Gets 7 more. Dives into the main and does get a full scout. He's fully aware of the gateway heavy composition. Again, working towards charge, working towards zealots and immortals. And these two vultures, they get in once again. They still get more damage done at 10 probe kills. Main army's pushing forward. Tanks have arrived. Prome is in position. But where are those zealots? Uh-oh. Yeah, where are the charge lots and with the main army? We need those warp-ins. Pushing into a line of tanks here. Prome. He's trying to force his way through. The immortals are moving in. The immortals are moving in. Massive immortal looks like it is going to be enough. Whew, does focus them down. And every tank will fall. Yeah, a clutch fight here from Prome. Does take down the main army, but that was 14 probe kills across the map. The economy here does take a hit for Prome, but he wins the main fight. And again, you can see just how tanky these immortals are. They just took all the tank shots to the face. And we have more immortals on the way. Just mass immortal, baby. Mass immortal. And again, I'm loving the spotter pylon as well. Oh, actually, there's another... Yo, there's another way around. Ay, ay, ay. Yo, cheeky moves here by BratOK, as there's a 2nd alleyway. There's an alley behind the alley, fam. Ay, ay, ay. It's crazy. 3 pros going down and diving into the natural. Immortals are keeping up. Yeah, the wolf focus is down, so nowhere near as much damage this time. Vultures are better Hellions, not against Ducklings. Yeah. Vultures are just a different unit. They're just different units. Vultures, they play a different role. They do a better job harassing in some aspects, but worse in others. As was mentioned, like Hellions, they are better against a Link Bane composition. Hellions, I mean. They're just a different unit. You could argue that Battle Mech is stronger in SE2 than in Brood War, depending on what you're up against. Oh, Spider-Man goes up. Oh my god, Spider-Man's here. They shut down the zealots. Yeah, nice kiting. Nice kiting here from the vultures. And again, Prome doesn't have to push in. Like, sure, he took a lot of damage. If Prome wanted to, he could just expand. Like, we can just take another base. He has map control. He's containing his opponents. But Prome, he wants to go in. He wants to send it. We don't need to. Like, like Prome, calm down. Yeah, vultures, they do slip by. That means they're not home to defend. We have mass tank waiting for him. And how tanky are Immortals? Let's go. He's pushing into what? 8 siege tanks. Boys are being pulled. 3, 4, 5 tanks going to be going down. It's still going to be a close fight here, almost getting every tank, but he holds. Yeah, BratOK, he holds, he survives. He shuts down the Immortals, and across the map, vultures. Oh, they also get into the mineral line. They bust into the mineral line. They get some more probe kills. And remember, Prome wasn't probing. He wasn't probing. He wasn't expanding. He chose not to. He chose to go for the all-in. And BratOK, he barely held on. Look at the trades here. That was how many? That was 8 tanks for 5 Immortals. 8 tanks went down, but again, the tank line barely held on. And behind this, Prome down to 45 workers. He never saturated his third. He never saturated, never probed up. Again, he didn't have to push into 8 tanks back. That was we didn't have to go for it. Oh no! Oh my god. Yeah, brutal connections. Catching out the stalkers. Oh no! Catching out every stalker. Let's go. The spider mines pop off. Yeah, with that BratOK, he holds, he defends. He's the one to take a faster 4th base. He's expanding, taking more bases, getting a greater economy. Once again, the vultures, they slip by. I'm telling you, this second alleyway, it's... Hi. Let's go. Stalkers will clean this up. No, we heard you like alleyways. So we put alleyways in your alleyways. True. Oh, it's from here. I would say a nice cleanup there from Prome. Took down like 5 mines with 1 zealot. Oh god, no! I spoke too soon. Running into more mines. Vulture setting up. Behind this, Goliath production has begun, working towards a science vessel. Vultures, they bypass the main army. They get into another mineral line. The Vulture rush just continues. It doesn't stop. It doesn't stop, man. Oh, God. Yeah, behind this, there's no cannons, no shield batteries, no stack defense. 8 more probe kills. More importantly, just drags Prome back home. And once again, no saturation at the 3rd. BratOK, he's on 80 SCVs. He's on 80 workers. Insane. The economy is there. And soon Prome, he'll move out. As he's just building up that tank count back at home. Only harassing with vultures. Setting up the minefields. Prome finally expands. It gets scouted. It gets spotted. BratOK is aware. Oh god. Once again, BratOK does rotate. He gets spotted. He gets spotted. Prome, he can try to keep up. Again, he's got how many immortals? 10 immortals. like the army itself is quite solid here for Prome. Unfortunately, he's just had a really hard time reacting to these run-bys, reacting to these counterattacks, and he also lost momentum earlier. So he just can't stop the bases. Ideally, Prome, he'd want to be out on the map. He'd want to be containing and denying these expansions. But because of the earlier losses, because of the earlier fight, the blundered engagement from Prome, he lost all control. And with that, we see BratOK just mass expanding. Once again, gets into another mineral line. Gets 5 more probe kills. Yo, Tej is watching. He's like, I see. He's let's go. As there are just so many mines out of the map. And here comes the tank army. How many tanks? 22. 22 tanks, man. That's a lot of tanks. Oh god. Protoss players, look away, Pappy, look away. It's not gonna be pretty. It's not going to be pretty, Packy. Oh, no. As BratOK is reaching his final form. Slowly pushing into the natural. Somewhat within an inch of the mineral line. Vultures a rush past. Now, once again, there won't be any vultures to protect these tanks, so Prome can take maybe the most efficient fight he can hope for. Vultures a bust into the natural. Prome's going to be going down. But there's 22. You can't push into 22 tanks. Like, they protect themselves. GG. GG gets called as he doesn't even try to break the siege line. And BratOK, he will take the series 3-2, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. Whew. GG, well played. BratOK, he will claim the series. Again, a very intense Game 5 here. Again, it was honestly back and forth. There were definitely good moments for Prome, but it all kind of swung in favor of BratOK when Prome did overextend. He pushed out into the third base. Remember, he pushed into, it was 8 tanks, some spider mines as well. He tried to force the issue. He lost all of his army, he lost all his momentum. At the same time, he was losing probes across the map, and as soon as that fight went the way of BratOK, he could expand. He could mass up, he can take more bases, gain map control, and snowball out of control. GG. GG, well played. But a shout out to Prome, because hey, Prome, he forced the ace match. I mean, it was a very intense back and forth. Went all the way to game 5 as well. Went all the way to game 5. It went the distance. Did go the distance. Ooh. Oh, it just says it's 4. Hold on. There we go. 3-1. Sorry, 3-2. Jesus. Sorry. There we go. 3-2. 3-2 in favor of BratOK. Went all the way to the ace match here. Sorry, I just had the wrong score out of game. Do apologize. But that leads us here into the grand finals. Let's catch up on the brackets. Let's catch up on all of today's matches. And again, intense semis, non-stop ace matches. Oh my god. Almost non-stop ace matches the entire quarterfinals, actually. Again, we had 3 Point going to the ace match against Geralt, Wayne the ace match against the SDC, Prome the ace match against Tasia. BratOK did 2-0 Lunacy. True, that did happen. That was the only one-sided series in the top 8, and then likewise we have the semifinals also going to the ace match as well, and now we have the grand finals. It's going to be a TvZ between 3 Point and BratOK. Let's go. We have our grand finals ahead of us, and we'll see who will be this week's StarCraft Evolution League champion. Oh boy.